In the Caribbean, Jennifer desperately swims in the sea while keeping an eye on the sharks. After lots of effort, she finally makes it to the shore and collapses. This started 2 days ago. Jennifer, her husband Jack, and a few friends arrive at the beach to board a fancy yacht. The women immediately notice staff member Manuel because he's incredibly handsome, but the mood gets tense when his ex-girlfriend Maria arrives to yell at him. She doesn't want him to leave without having a proper conversation, but he says that he doesn't want to see her ever again. Maria slaps him and Manuel hits her back, so Jack wants to help. However, Jennifer and his friends tell him not to get involved. Maria curses Manuel and the guests before finally going away. That night, Jack teases Manuel for what happened in the docks and invites him to have a drink with the group, but Manuel turns him down. Jack is now more certain that Manuel is just a jerk. After dinner, Jack and Jennifer get naughty in their room. Manuel is in the room next to theirs and can hear everything. At first he tries to ignore it and cover his ears, but he ends up paying attention to it. Meanwhile, Maria is doing a special voodoo ritual. She picks a doll and thinks about her good memories with Manuel to put a curse on him. She also channels Jack's and Jennifer's energy for her own pleasure. When she hits the doll, Manuel's nose starts bleeding. The next day, Jack complains because Manuel hasn't brought them the drinks he ordered. At that moment Manuel arrives with the order and a bit of sarcasm, so Jack complains again and Captain Richards promises he'll take care of it. In private, Richards scolds Manuel for his attitude and an argument ensues. When Richards warns him that this may cost him his job, Manuel agrees to quit and Richards says he'll drop him at the next port. An angry Manuel storms out of the kitchen after throwing his towel, not noticing that it lands on the stove and catches fire. Soon the flames start spreading and the guests see the smoke, so they warn Richards. The captain rushes to get the extinguisher and tries to put out the fire, but it's too late. It's already grown too big and the flames are reaching the deck. Richards announces they're abandoning the yacht and has to argue with Jack, who complains about his vacation getting cancelled. The group splits into 2 lifeboats and sails off right before a small explosion goes off inside the ship. Unfortunately, a raging storm takes them by surprise and destroys their boats, throwing everyone in the water. Now Jennifer is alone on an island, wondering what to do. Suddenly she sees something in the water and realizes it's Richard's body. She rushes to retrieve him and tries to do CPR, but she panics when she sees blood coming out of his mouth. At that moment Manuel finds her and tries to help, however Richards is already dead. In the evening, it starts raining again and the duo takes shelter under the broken boat. Jennifer feels very cold, so Manuel gives her his shirt. The next morning Manuel buries Richards and puts on his goggles to go diving for seafood. He also finds a knife in the sand. Jennifer can't help but admire his wet body when he comes back without a shirt. When she gets in the water, he admires her body too. They discuss the situation and Manuel explains that it could take them months to find them. Jennifer insists they should start a fire and Manuel points out there's nothing he can use. Instead he wants to build a house. Using the knife, Manuel cuts a bunch of leaves and branches from trees. Then the duo searches for any useful objects that have washed ashore and builds a decent hut. They drink water from coconuts and eat the fish Manuel catches. The next morning Jennifer is sad about the situation, so Manuel invites her to go for a swim to distract themselves. Since he doesn't want to sleep in wet clothes, he takes them all off before jumping in. After some hesitation, Jennifer does the same. She asks Manuel about Maria, so he claims that she made him hit her because she made him look bad in front of his friends and doesn't want to face her problems. He thinks that she wants to blame him for everything and punish him for it. It turns out Maria said she was pregnant and wanted to marry Manuel, but he said no. When Manuel asks about Jennifer's life, she refuses to answer. He calls her out for the double standard and says that just like Jack, she thinks she's better than everyone else just because she has money. An angry Jennifer insults him and Manuel reminds her that the only reason she's survived so far is thanks to him. She asks him to look the other way when she leaves the water, but Manuel refuses and says naughty things about her body before telling her she has no heart. That night, Jennifer gives him the cold shoulder. However, the next morning she tells him that she doesn't want to fight anymore and they agree to be friends. Manuel swims to the reef and after avoiding a shark, he manages to capture a lobster. When he returns to the shore, he
like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you on my next video.